Okay, so assignment 1, start on Wednesday, ends on October 14. It's about need finding. And it's split in 2 parts. One is preparation and execution of the need finding per se. And the second part is this synthesis and analysis. So we will do a lecture on synthesis and analysis. It was a low battery. So we will do a lecture of synthesis and analysis, but here is still well described what you have to do. But this is like the final things. When you have done all the need finding work, is within the group do the analysis and synthesis of the results. And it's the second step. So all assignments are split in this way. If there are, well, there is an overview, let's say what's the assignment about. Then there are 1 or more things to do, in this case, execution of the need finding and preparation. And then some suggestions in this case, then synthesis of the results, and then there is deliverable. So what you are expected, what you will need to deliver for, in this case, the feedback session on the 15th of October. And it asks you here, step by step, what you have to deliver. In this case, it's a presentation, like PowerPoint presentation or similar, so slides. And then it ends with grading criteria that reach 100%. These grading criteria, we will not apply them at the assignment, as we said, but these will be the criteria we will use at the exam to evaluate the work of assignment 1. So you know from the day in which the assignment is published that a good domain definition is 5% of this assignment, and good participant is 10% of the assignment, and a good methodology and execution of the interview is 40%, and a good synthesis is 45%. So you have the slices of grading up to 100%. And then this will be shrink down in some points out of 30, but still all of these assignments are 100% grading. So if you want, you already know, you already say, okay, this is, I didn't do well, etc. Or yes, and so you can sort of give yourself a checklist of whatever you do. So every assignment has their grading criteria on them. Again, we are not grading the assignment now, but we will use these criteria for the exam. So you already know what you will be evaluated on. Okay? So assignment 1. Assignment 1 start with what you already said. Select a domain of interest within your lab team. So here it's verbose, you have to read it and understand it. So it's text comprehension, like elementary school skill. In English, maybe high school skill, but still. It describes what you have to do with details and examples. So you also have example there. So it's a narrow a bit the domain of your topic and agree with the teacher of that lab slot, the domain that you want to explore. So as I was saying last week, all the lab hours are for you to talk with us continuously, not just when you have a question. So it's interactive in this way. So for instance, if the theme is transportation, you might narrow down to daily commuting by trains of some people, or multimodality for teenagers. So big domain, transportation. What do you want to explore? Multimodality for teenagers. Daily commuting by train of students. not a problem in it, but you want to explore to understand which are the problems that could arise in that subdomain. So you have to reach that level of abstraction within the team you choose or you are assigned to. Again, it's written there. The domain is something you want to explore, to investigate further. It's not an app idea, is not a project vision, is not, I know there are a problem there. Choose a domain of interest that you find interesting and can keep you engaged throughout the semester, because you will bring it until the end of the course. And for which, it's important, you are not too involved. Why it's important that you are not too involved? Because if you are too involved in that domain, if you are commuting daily by train, if you pick as a team, a subdomain, daily commuting by train for university students, and you are one of them, you will bring your experience in the domain. You will bring your biases, your assumption in the domain. So it's better not to be involved so that you don't bring these issues within the domain. So try to find something that you are interested, but you are not one of the person of the population if possible. So first, select a domain. And how do you select a domain? You talk within the group, you talk with teachers in your slot, and you agree that something makes sense or not at that level or needs to be rethought. And from experience, I can tell you that no one will have a domain at the first try. No one will have the first. We would like to do something like this. Is it okay? Yes, it's a rare thing to have at the first try. At the end of Wednesday, the majority of you will have one. At the end of the lab of Wednesday, the majority of you will have one. There will be someone, I'm not trying to discourage, I'm just trying to tell you what happened in the past like 3 years. At the end of the Wednesday, some of you will not have an approved domain yet. And so you will continue to think about it and to send via Telegram to the teacher of your team some ideas until you get yes, proceed. First, when you get yes, proceed, you have to plan your interview. Planning the interview means first, finding people, second, creating questions, third, do the interviews, as we have seen now. So for the interviews, this is a scaled down version of the process. All this course will be, all the assignment will be a scaled down version of the process. So what we ask you to interview is at least 4 people. Not 11, not 100, 4. At least. Then if you want to do 5, 6, it's fine, but not exaggerate. The minimum, the requirement is 4. These 4 people should belong to different types. Should be look at the entire stakeholders that we were saying before. So don't think just to the immediate user, daily commuting by train for students. Don't think just students, but also the other stakeholder. So here there is an example which involve lead user and extreme stakeholder that are extreme stakeholder are lead user are extreme users as well. So in this case, there was a team asked to redesign a cart for grocery shopping. And so the team did interview customer of the grocery, but also interview lead user, professional shoppers, people who are paid to go shopping instead of me. They exist. And extreme stakeholder and other extreme stakeholder like the manager of the grocery store. They want to do something for the customer, but they get information from other people that know what's going on, know why some products are in some spot and not in the others. So they can provide additional context, additional information that could be useful for creating something. And here there is some requirement, additional requirement. This set of 4 people can include no more than 1 Politecnico student, because otherwise you will do all in this classroom. No more than 1 domain expert, which means that's optional, and at least 1 lead or extreme user, so like the grocery store manager, the teacher for a classroom, etc. If you interview just 4 people, 2 of them must be immediate users. So your target population, so that the majority of them or half of them will be target user, the one you are designing something for, the one you are exploring the problem for. Okay? Then, modality. Interview must be done in person with people in their context. If it's impossible to do it in person, for whatever reasonable way, you can do it in a video call, agreeing with the teacher of your team. Every exception must be agreed with the teacher of your team. And then I say, make an extra effort to observe a few people in action in the context or domain of interest, either conducting a small observation or a small contextual inquiry with some of these 4 people, which could mean 1 or 2. Questions. You are asked to do a semi-structured interview, so you should have some predefined question for the interview. A reasonable range can be between 10 and 20, but it's not a strict limit. Questions, of course, needs to be suitable for the domain at hand, the activity you are exploring with, and the type of people you select. Of course, questions to the immediate users could be different than questions that you ask to lead or domain expert. So you could have a set of questions that is slightly different according to the types of people you are interviewing. Try to understand where people do things in the way they do, etc. Be ready to skip some question or ask any new follow-up question that is the unstructured part out of your 10 or 20 questions. Material, you need to record, meaning write down, what, how, and why interviews are saying and doing, if you do the observation of contextual inquiry. Take a picture of the interviews and of any relevant artifacts that they can show you. So we don't need a picture like a group photo or a selfie. We don't care about it. But some picture, at least 1, at least 2, picture of something that happened during the interview that is significant for interview. Something that people point out, something that people do. So if people don't want to be photographed in face, on the back, that's the goal of a picture. It's not a photographic contest, is to have some additional information. Maybe they show you a tool, they show you something on paper, and you make a picture of that so that you have it. So that's the goal of picture. Audio record the interview. You must audio record each interview with whatever you want, with your phone, etc. And of course, take notes of the question asked to then analyze them. And then conduct this interview for the people you plan it. As a duration, typically an interview will last between 30 to 60 minutes. It depends on what you do during the interview. And before doing it, before starting the interview, explicitly ask for consent. Which means having a piece of paper that's saying we are doing an interview on this topic and we are taking pictures, maybe not of your face, and audio recording and take notes for a university course. Do you agree? And this should be on paper. This should be written. Yes?
You have a template?
No, I don't. But if you look for consent form, you find there should be this thing. We are doing this thing, do you agree or not? There are like GDPR compliant consent form, we are doing it in a, let's say, teaching activity, we are not going to publish it anywhere, everything is private, but it's important that they agree that you collect this material in any written format. It could be also a Google form, but they have to check a box and say, yes, I agree.
So like 30 minutes minimum isn't too much for like 10 questions to 20 questions? Like it's too much time?
It's not too much time.
Like
it's 3 minutes per question, so it's not enough. It's not a lot of time. Because people need to answer, and you will need to ask questions, and then there is, hey, hello.
It's very hard to find people who have enough time for 1 hour for you to like make an interview for you.
You have 2 weeks.
No, I'm saying like people don't have like that much time.
They have. So, yes. Oh, that's a good question. The interview can be conducted either in Italian or in English. Depends on you and on the people. The audio recording as such could be either in Italian or in English. Actually, the interview can be conducted in whatever language you are comfortable with. These slides, the report, everything should be translated in English. Procedure: 2 team members must be present at each interview. One doing the interview and the other one taking notes, taking pictures, etc. This means that if you are 4, you can do interviews in parallel, if needed. Then here there are suggestions for finding participants. And then here there are how do you synthesize the results. We will go back here after the lecture on this. But the idea is this. You do the interviews. You write everything down. Like, to these questions, we had these answers. To this question, we had these answers. So in a summarized way. And from those, as a team, you extract user needs, the one we discussed the other day. And we will do examples next week on user needs and extraction and bad user needs and good user needs, etc. Let's say you extract 15 user needs from your interviews, 10 user needs from your interview. This is a reasonable number. Step 1, extract 10, 15 user needs. From them, reduce them to 3 or 4. The deeper one, the most significant one, the one that maybe are repeated across people, 3 to 4, from 10 to 3. Then for each of these 3 user needs, you have to brainstorm 5 possible solutions. This is your work. You don't have to speak with anyone, just within the group. So if you have 3 user needs, you come up with how many solutions in total? How many solutions in total if you have 3 user needs? 15. 5 for the first, 5 for the second, 5 for the third. Different solution, each one linked to one user need. So each user need, each deep user need has 5 solutions. The second has other 5 solutions. And the third one has other 5 solutions. And here there is how you can do it, suggestion, practical suggestion, how to do it. Are there any questions? Solutions are not an app for this, but solutions are like this one. So if the need is courier drivers needs to use restrooms during delivery without traveling out of their way, that's a need for courier traveling. Possible solutions are shops, gas station, gym, receive recognition as a driver-friendly location for allowing drivers to use the restroom. Another solution, drivers can see the location of nearby places with parking and restroom and provides this location with business. These are solutions from where you can imagine, if you want, one or more way to implement that, but that's not the goal of this assignment, how to implement that. That's a solution. And then, voting within the team, you select one of these solutions. So we are, as the interviews, we start large and we go down, laser focus. Here, same, we start with interviews. 10 user needs, 15 solutions, 3 user needs, 15 solutions, 1 top solution that's saved. And it's the solution you will work on the semester. So it will be one application, one prototype that will solve one specific need in one specific way. It will not be a do-it-everything application. We'll solve one specific solution for one specific deep need. And after all this work, you just have to find a project name and a value proposition for that. That's the easiest part of everything. Just find a name for your project. That's not the name of your group, it's the name of the project, according to what you're going to do in so 1 word maximum. And the value proposition should be something like always the ride you want, payment infrastructure for the internet, one platform for your team and your work. Just a slogan for your project.
So the teacher must approve only the topic, the domain, right? The solution is not approved. We can choose whatever we go.
The teacher must approve the domain. So formally, the teacher must approve the domain and any variation you want to apply. Like, I cannot do in-person interview, can I do online? That's by the requirement. Then if you are smart, you ask questions and show what you did before doing, after doing, just to know if you are going in the right direction or not. Because one thing is saying, hey, we have these 10 needs, are they needs? And I would say probably half of them will not. But then if you know this, you can, before proceeding, you can fix them. If you arrive at the end, and then the need you selected was not a need, you did a lot of work for nothing. And you will discover it in the feedback session, but you will discover it after doing all the work. So again, the spirit of this course, especially for the lab hours, is for you to talk with us and ask questions. Say, we did this, is it right, is it not? To have guidance before doing the work, not just after discovering that you made mistakes. Because again, as I was saying last week, you don't know how to do this stuff. We know, probably, a little bit better, and we can guide you in doing it better. And that's why labs are divided in 3 slots and with a teacher that's following you for the entire semester, etc., and not different, to be more, to have one to many, but with a small number of people, guidance before you do the work, during the work you do, okay? Then deliverables, just to say, the set of slides in PDF with this information that are the same information. This is a subset of the information that of the things you have done, so nothing new. Just break down, just to discuss. And the audio recording of the interviews. Just there. You don't need to transcribe the audio recording. If it's useful, you can re-listen to them, but you don't have to provide the transcription. Just the MP3, whatever, audio file on your GitHub repository of the team that we will create as soon as teams are formed.
You said that we have to translate all the interviews if they are not done in English.
Yes, you have to translate the written interview. Well, it depends how good you are to take notes.
Okay.
If it takes good notes, you don't really need to transcribe them, because you can say, okay, people replied this, and you can say what they replied. If you're not good to take notes or you miss something, you have the audio interview, that the audio recorded with help, of course. Any questions?
Seems easy and hard at the same time.
It is. I can tell you that this is not complex. It's not even a lot of time, because at the end you have to do this 2 hours of interview in general, in total, 4 people, half an hour for people. So it's not a lot of time to dedicate, but you never do something like this, and you will make mistakes. And that's also why we don't grade these until the exam, because you will do mistakes. And if you listen and talk with us, the number of mistakes will be minimized. If you don't and go on your own, we had in 3 years, 4 years, so we do this course since 2019, but it was not exactly like this in 2019. But I think in 5 years, we said twice to 2 different groups, of course, that they had to redo the assignment 1 entirely, because they made it totally wrong. Two groups in 6 years. So it's not frequent, but it happens, because if you don't talk with us, if you don't listen, if you don't read, then this happens. And I can guarantee you that at the end, I'm saying this is also recorded, so I can have a proof, because it happens so many times. There will be people, there will be groups that will arrive at the end with one top solution that is a merge of 15 solutions or 5 solutions, which is not what we ask, which is not what is written. And in that case, the answer will be redo that part. Or with needs that are not needs, or are not written as needs. And you have all the hours in the lab, this week and next week, to do these kind of things. You have Telegram to reach out to your teacher to ask for this. So it's not that you don't have way to ask, just you have to do it. You have to ask if you are not sure. We are not doing the work for you, but we can check what you did and say, this is right, this is right, this is wrong. This question is fine, this question is fine, this question is wrong, what you want to ask. And so you can fix it before doing it, okay? This will apply to the 3 teacher of the 3 slots. And we will also have, I think, let me check. So if you notice, we have this, I already told you, we have the schedule of the course out for the entire semester. And I think, yes, that next Monday, we will do 1 hour of lecture on analysis, but the next hour will be for you to work on the interviews. So it's like another lab hours in class. So in this 5:37, if you have question and interview on your question, I can answer for the 3 teams. Or if you want to use this 1 hour and a half to actually go and do the interviews, you can use it. So we also have some times here and there for the various assignment during the lectures to give you time to work on the assignment, in addition to the lab hours. Okay? And let me add one more thing, and then we will do a break. Right now, we noticed that there is like a not even distribution between groups and lab slots. Like there are 2 groups, well, 2 p.m. today, 2 groups in the first slot, or 3. 3 groups in the third slot and 11 in the second slot. This cannot work. So for whatever reason, if you don't have a lecture in one of these slots, you will be moved if needed. So if you have a lecture in the first slot, you cannot be in the first slot, of course. But if it's like, no, I want to be there because yes, and we need to move people, we will move people. Because I cannot have 15 groups and the other two teachers 3 groups. Because I will not be able to talk with all the 15 groups. And so I will not be able to give feedback, and those 50 groups will do a terrible job. While the other will have plenty of time to discuss everything. So we need a distribution, almost equal distribution, to be able to give the same amount of support to each group. And the other two teachers are fully prepared to do that work like me. Okay? So if you did select, I cannot attend any other slot, but you really can resubmit the form. If you haven't submitted the form, keep this in mind. Because we cannot have all the groups on slot number 2, or the majority of groups there. Okay? And with that, let's do 10 minutes stop, and then we will start with the exercise.